In this world, it's not like it was at Home Improvement. Home Improvement was, I believe, at our top. We're 24 million viewers on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Home Improvement was a show with universal appeal. It ran for 8 years, from 1991 to 99, and was nominated for 34 Emmys, 9 Golden Globes, and 4 People's Choice Awards. The wacky antics of a man trying to do his best to run a home and business made it relatable. They also distracted fans from the secrets behind the scenes. Mistakes and interesting details slipped right past our noses. Keep watching as Facts First presents This Scene Wasn't Edited. Look again at the Home Improvement blooper. The idea came from this old house. The idea for Home Improvement came from the actual PBS Home Improvement show, This Old House. It followed Bob Vila and his friend Norm Abrams renovating houses. It also inspired other popular design shows like Property Brothers and Fix This House. Bob had no hard feelings about the inspiration. He appeared several times on the show as Tim's arch nemesis. The working title. Home Improvement was originally going to be called Hammer Time. It was to honor MC Hammer's one-hit wonder, Can't Touch This. That working title was funny but didn't last long. It was changed to avoid confusion. Stars and guest stars. Frances Fisher was the first choice to play Jill over Patricia Richardson. She even appeared in the pilot but got low test scores with screening audiences and was replaced. Ashley Judd almost became the Tool Time girl. Show creator Matt Williams thought she was too talented for a minor role and wanted to give her a more substantial one. She was replaced by Pamela Anderson. Zachary Ty Bryan played the oldest brother Brad, and Jonathan Taylor Thomas played the middle child Randy. Jonathan was a month older, but their height difference made it work. Richard Karn got on the show thanks to a happy accident. He was fined for making a rolling stop through an intersection and sent to traffic school. His agent told him about the gig while he was there, and he talked his way into an audition. Being a guest star on Home Improvement was a way to improve your career, and there was one guest they were dead set on getting. They wanted to get Hilary Clinton, believing it would make their show and her political career. Cars and clothes. Tim's clothes not only became a focal point of the show, but were authentic to the state of Michigan. He often wore a Detroit Lions jersey or jackets supporting other local teams like the Red Wings. That changed in one episode where he wore a sweatshirt from Wofford College in South Carolina. His cars were another point of interest since he always seemed to have a new one each season. Tim owned at least one of them himself. Seeing Wilson's face. Wilson tops the list as one of the most beloved characters that is never fully seen on a show. The character was inspired by Tim's past. He remembered talking to a man across the fences who always only showed half his face. There was one blink and you'll miss it moment at the end of the episode The Karate Kid where you could see him in full. It was also special because it features a cameo from the Beach Boys as Wilson's cousins. Watch the episode in slow motion and pay attention when Jill asks to sing with them. You'll see Wilson's face accidentally revealed when one of the boys leans forward. Other than that blooper, the gag went on the entire series. It wasn't until the final episode that he came out and showed his face to the world on purpose. Klaus Was Real. There was another character not seen on the show. Tim would often call for a man named Klaus while filming Tool Time segments. He never showed up, so many fans have assumed he wasn't real. The truth is, he couldn't have been more real. This was the actual first name of the show's sound engineer, Klaus Landsberg. He joined up with Tim again on his later sitcom, Last Man Standing. Turning down even more money. Patricia Richardson decided not to return for the 9th season despite an offer of $25 million. According to E! News, she didn't want to take the gig for money alone. Tim turned down an offer to star in a TV version of Dead Poets Society or Turner and Hooch. He declined both because he thought they would fail. He also refused to continue with Home Improvement despite an offer of $50 million because he thought it would fail without Patricia. Goofs and bloopers. Area codes. Tim's mistakes on Tool Time were a frequent source of comedy. Al used cue cards to help correct them, but there was one that slipped through. There was one episode where he put up a cue card with the address and phone number of the show. The problem is the number is 815-555-TOOL. That area code is for Illinois, not Michigan. Accidental reveals. In the pilot, Tim blows up the dishwasher. If you pause the scene right before the explosion, you can see the cutout where the wall's rigged to blow. There's another special effects reveal in that episode. Look closer when Tim gives Brad a motorized wheelchair and runs it through the fence. You can see a loose board fall right before he crashes through it. The episode Karate Kid has an accidental reveal. It happens after Randy's getting bullied and Mark puts the bully in a storage closet. You can see the backdrop shake as they run away. Crew caught on camera. At the beginning of Growing Pains, you can see a head moving behind Karen and Jill while they watch a recording of Tool Time. If you look, you can see a crew member's arm in the bottom left while Tim's still talking to Jill. The episode Arrivederci Bin 4 has perhaps been the most obvious crew reveal. After John Binford dies, Tim has a 21-nail gun salute on Tool Time that goes wrong. You can see a crew member with a rifle shooting the set to create the bullet holes from the gun. Darker secrets. Tim's checkered past. Tim was arrested in 1978 at a Michigan airport for possessing over 650 grams of cocaine. He was a well-known dealer at the time and got caught in a sting operation. He became an informant for other dealers, but spent 2 years and 4 months in prison. He said the time haunted him, but it didn't fully scare him straight. He got a DUI during Home Improvement's run in May of 1997. Tim versus JTT. JTT told people he'd been acting since he was 8 and wanted to stop for a bit. He said, quote, "I wanted to go to school and to travel and have a bit of a break." Most of the cast supported his decision. Patricia felt it was great that he wanted to go back to school and get an education. But Tim got angry when JTT changed his goals. He started making films instead of going to school. The two actors had such a major falling out, they didn't appear in the final episode of the series together. Child star troubles. Zachary and Taryn are glad they escaped many of the troubles that other child stars experience. In their own words,
well, yeah, people always ask if you had kids, would you let them do the same thing? And I would have to say probably no, because I think we got really lucky that, well, first of all, we're still here and we didn't have to deal with too much, any crazy drug problems.
Zachary did get into plenty of other kinds of trouble. He was arrested October 16, 2020, after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. He attempted to choke her and took the phone away when she tried to call 911. He was arrested on charges of strangulation, assault, and interfering with a police report. He was released on bail and required to stay away from his girlfriend. Taron Noah Smith played Mark, the youngest son on Home Improvement. He ran away from home at 17 and battled his parents in court until he gained control of his $1.5 million trust fund. He then married 33-year-old Heidi Van Pelt, but she was after his trust fund. They divorced in 2007. His home went under foreclosure and he was arrested for a DUI and drug possession in 2012. He reconciled with his mother in 2016. They wrote a book to help other families in the entertainment business. He's now an artist who assists in disaster relief. Reboot plans. Fans like to look for any hint of a reboot of their favorite shows. Home Improvement devotees have gotten plenty. The cast appeared in a photo shoot for Entertainment Weekly in 2011, except for Pamela Anderson and the late Earl Hindman. Tim and JTT showed they had buried the hatchet when JTT appeared on an episode of his sitcom Last Man Standing in 2016. There is one cast member who wouldn't be on board. Patricia Richardson even went so far as to say, quote, "Tim lying to people and telling them I was on board and I didn't know anything about it." He apparently never asked her or JTT if they'd be interested in the idea. Now it's time to hear from you. Who was your favorite character from Home Improvement? Let us know in the comments section below.